What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Manbitesfilm. As always, I'm your host, Brandon. Well, this is episode 61 because I'm a shitty host. Forgot to say the number. Joining me is a regular crew. I got Lewis. Crew. I said crew this time.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, it did.
I did. I've been catching myself when I say clue by accident because I can't English properly.
I'm getting such a big clue.
Yes. As I said, Lewis.
Hey guys.
And of course, see, I fucked up already on a word. Coursed. William.
A horse.
Yeah, William in the other corner.
Hello, everybody. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I imagine. I imagine, like, you know, we're all in very different parts of the country, and I feel like if I imagined us, we'd be sitting like in a triangle. Like,
dude, I'm like 150 miles from you.
Shut the fuck up. That's pretty far still, dude. Actually, you're like 200 miles away from me, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
Man. It's like 300 miles. 300 freaking...
Jesus Christ, ladies. You're both beautiful. No. Can we get a move on?
We're beautiful?
As always, if you are joining us for the first time or the 61st, we are a weekly movie... 61st?
61st?
Oh my god, it could be a long fucking episode.
Hey guys!
We are a weekly movie podcast where we talk about movie news, we review one movie all together, and we also review 3 movies individually. So, Lewis.
Yes, we do. Away. Yes, we do. So today for movie news, I have some interesting stuff that I encountered on multiple different websites that I was like, ooh, this would be fun. They are actually talking about doing Solo 2, and
fun.
It is hilarious. The internet is like going ape shit, and now they have an official hashtag. It's hashtag make Solo 2 happen. Very original, Disney. Thank you. What do you guys think about Solo 2?
I'm fine with it. I was pleasantly surprised with Solo, like, coming from somebody that didn't see it in theaters. Like, I waited until it came out on Netflix. It was fine. I'd like to see, I guess, what else they could show us about Solo, you know, so.
I just want to
No, I think it's a little unnecessary, but that's just me.
I'm okay. I'm okay with them. I'm indifferent about it. Let me say that. I don't care if they make it or they don't. Like, I really don't care. If they do, I'll watch it. If they don't, then whatever. So be it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. I'm okay with it being done, honestly. But then again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so it really doesn't count as much of an opinion as anime I would have. Next one, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland are teaming up for the first time with Pixar's amazing company, and they are working on Onward, the latest production by Pixar. And I'm kind of interested to see their dynamic together.
Interested? To complete this game, asshole. To complete this game, asshole.
Oh, dear God. I am the innocent bystander this fucking week. Okay. Got
it. So, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm good with that. I think that would be pretty cool. Pixar has been pretty fucking good about their movies and their choices for actors, so I'm kind of happy about this, and I want to see Holland and Pratt chemistry, see how they do.
Yeah, because they haven't, like, you've seen them on the screen together a couple times in Avengers.
But they really don't interact with each other.
Yeah, like, they interacted a couple times in Infinity War, and I don't even think they talk in Endgame, so, yeah.
No, they don't. Also, have you seen the first images of Black Widow?
No.
Well, the only image I've seen was her walking by like a production truck. I haven't really seen anything else.
Dude, it looks pretty good. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this. And we're actually dropping a retro episode with what do you call it, discussing Black Widow in its entirety as a character. And that is actually pretty interesting stuff that we bring up with the amazing Molly B. Marcus. And yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I'm very indifferent about this movie. I honestly don't care.
no, I mean, Vanessa Hudgens is rumored to play Catwoman in the new Batman.
In the Robert Pattinson Batman,
Yep.
which they said it's a trilogy.
Oh, did they? I haven't
Yes,
seen.
yes, they announced that it's a trilogy.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
The Batman is gonna be the first one in the trilogy.
What are they gonna call it? The Batman 2?
I'm sure, maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Sparkles in the night. Which I will say this though, I give him a lot of shit because of Twilight and everything, like a lot of people do. But I've seen him in other stuff. He is a good, he's a decent actor, and I honestly think that he'll do a good job.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I know a lot of people
I agree
that
with
his
you.
big one was Twilight, so everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be a Sparkle Batman. One of the best memes I've seen that come out of it was how he's the worst vampire ever because it took him
10 years,
10 years to become a bat. And I'm like, that's great.
That's great.
Oh my god.
So next thing that they're bringing out is Alien Covenant is getting a sequel written and directed by Ridley Scott. I'm excited.
Really? But why?
But why? Because the Alien series is fucking
Covenant
awesome.
sucked.
No, it did not. Shut your face.
It
Shut
sucked.
your whore face.
It was not good Ridley Scott. We want 80s Ridley Scott. You also like Lord of the Rings, so your opinion doesn't really matter.
And you also like Harry Potter, which is comparable to Twilight.
I kind of agree with William. Like Covenant's it's fine. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's definitely not a good Alien movie.
I would probably put it
The
in
host has spoken. We can move on.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Honestly, Alien, there's only 2 Alien films that we should be talking about. That's Alien and Aliens. Everything after that is hot doo-doo. So
what? No.
Alien
Resurrection was freaking great, too.
Resurrection sucks dick.
What is it with you and the bad Alien movies? Resurrection
I like
sucks.
Resurrection.
Resurrection sucks dick. Alien 3 sucks dick.
Resurrection of your dick.
Alien 3 sucks.
Good.
Prometheus is not good, dude. That movie is not good.
Prometheus is not good. It really is not.
No, it's not.
Get out of here with that.
Oh, God. I'm trying to, give you some leeway here, but you're not helping.
So, speaking of leeway,
oh, my God.
Oh, dear God.
So, Blumhouse and Mattel are teaming up for a Magic 8-Ball movie.
What?
And this is when I check out at the door. I will see you guys at the end of the episode. I know.
I don't. I'm wondering if this is just a joke or what.
Probably not. It's probably for real. I would assume since it's on your movie news. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I really hope it's just a joke, and this is just some tomfoolery that they're doing. But yeah, that's right, tomfoolery. That's my new word for the day.
Oh my God!
So another thing that they're doing. Another thing that they're doing that we're going to be kind of, I think, split on. Harrison Ford says Indiana Jones will start filming in 2020.
He's also, was it him or Steven Spielberg said that, I think it's him. I think it was Harrison Ford said that no one will ever play that character except him.
Yep, that was him, and I agree with that.
I agree. I think that's a good idea. I'm
fine with that.
Robert Pattinson's new Batman is possibly rumored to include Robin as well.
Interesting.
Who would you think?
So, sorry,
Robin.
Before we get into that, have they said this is part of the DCU, right? Or DCEU, whatever the hell they're calling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So is this like a prequel? Is this the same You know,
I hope it's a sequel, like or like way off in the future.
I don't think so.
Batman Beyond. Why are people not doing Batman Beyond? Jesus.
I think Pattinson is playing a young Batman. I think they're doing more of a. Actually, yeah. What am I saying? Reeves, the director of the Batman, says that it's gonna be like not an origin story, but like him, like basically at the beginning of his career as Batman.
Oh Jesus, we've already seen that and seen that with perfection. Why are they gonna go retrace those steps?
Dude, give it a shot, dude. Like,
I mean, I'm just tired of the origin story. I don't want to see freaking.
I didn't say origin story.
Wayans
I didn't say origin story.
Again.
I didn't say origin story, dude. I said early on in his career. Maybe it's a year into his career of being Batman. I'm not saying that we're gonna see him become Batman. He's probably Batman at the beginning of the film. I'm just.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I think Pattinson is playing the same Batman that Ben Affleck played. It's just a younger version of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I think it is.
So the last bit of movie news that I have is a throwback to one of our most esteemed movies. This has become our movie, I think, honestly, in our podcast. And of course, if you've been with us from the beginning, this is The Babadook is getting a limited edition release for Pride Month.
Why?
Because if you don't know this, the reason The Babadook got such a cult following was because Netflix classified it as an LGBT movie for the longest time.
Why?
What? Why?
It was just an error. It was a mistake that happened. So it became a running joke.
Oh, so it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing.
Yeah. It became a running joke. And it became a cult phenomenon because that it was classified under the LGBT community in Netflix.
That's so dumb.
So it started releasing like a bunch of memes, all that stuff about it, and it's the Babadook is there. I guess they have a sense of humor about it, and they're releasing a limited edition Pride themed Blu-ray.
Okay, sure.
Which is pretty awesome because I mean, come on, that's the movie that started us.
Yeah, it is. A long time ago.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Our second episode ever, and then our 100th episode.
No, wasn't it the first episode?
Second.
It was the first episode.
Nope, second. Our first episode was Primer. Remember that?
Primer.
Primer.
Is it Primer?
It's Primer.
I'm gonna say Primer. Tomato.
Primer. I was going off of the first because when we did the whole thing at Spooky a couple of years ago, it was like we're going back to our roots in the first episode that we were doing. But I mean,
well,
we were there, so
technically, it's the first episode that we have active because Primer was god awful, and I took it down. I took an executive decision and I took it down.
I have 3 things for news.
Okay.
They're all animated series. First one is the Russo brothers have said that they're going to do a Magic the Gathering show for Netflix. No.
Don't touch that. No.
Why?
Because the books are fucking amazing, and why are they going to touch that and put that into a fucking series?
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not. No.
Dude, chill out. Get off your high horse, dude. You never know. Maybe they do something incredible with Magic the Gathering. Have you even read the books?
Yes, I have, actually.
Okay.
Well, you said it's the Russo brothers?
Yeah, the Russo brothers.
Well, maybe they'll do something marvelous.
Yeah. Wow.
They're releasing a Jurassic World animated series called Camp Cretaceous that releases next year on Netflix.
Just Jurassic World?
A Jurassic World animated TV series called Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. Sorry. It's releasing on Netflix, and Nickelodeon has said that they have greenlit a 13-episode prequel to SpongeBob titled Camp Coral. that is going to be SpongeBob at 10 years old. So that's going to be interesting.
I can't wait to see the memes on that one.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Speaking of Jurassic World, they apparently have released an article that the original cast of Jurassic Park has teased, so we don't know if it's actually doing it or not, but has teased that they will be in the new Jurassic World movie. Now, when I say original cast, I mean the Doctor, Dr. Grant, oh my God, what's her name?
Yeah, what's this chick's name?
You're talking about Laura, right?
Yeah. Yes. What's her name in the movie?
Ellie?
Yes, Ellie, thank you. I wonder if the kids are going to be there, too.
I stepped away from the mic for a second. I was like, can you guys not hear me?
I wonder if the kids are going to be there, too. Or not kids anymore.
Well,
adults,
I mean, no, not kids anymore, but...
I want Wayne Wright to come back. That'd just be awesome.
Wait, who?
Yeah.
Nedry, come on.
He's dead.
He's dead?
Is he?
Yes.
He got eaten by the dinosaur that spat freaking venom in his eye.
The sticky shit, remember?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like the actual actor was dead. I was like, what?
No. The character, Dennis, and it's not, isn't it Nedry, not Nedry?
I said
it's Nedry.
Didn't I?
No, you said Nedry. You said Nedry.
Whatever. You know what I meant.
Say the magic word.
Fuck your face. That's the magic word.
But yeah, no, he died. Not the actor. Okay, so the actor that played Hammond is dead, and the character that he portrays is dead. So those are two people that can't come back.
Oh yeah, he did, because wasn't he like super sick at the beginning of Lost World or something like that?
I know he lost a lot of weight.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but
remember Ian goes to see him at like his home in New York, and then the guy's like, "Hey, I want you to go fucking back to the islands," and Ian's like, "Fuck no, I ain't going back there." And I'm pretty sure he's sick, but yeah, that's whatever. It's stupid. It's insignificant. All right, guys. So stay tuned.
That's it.
Stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you with our new, not so new segment, the movie bucket
Not live.
list. It's never live.
When we were kids, we all had our go-to happy place, our escape. We gravitated to art, movies, bands, musical, or books. Something that did not make us feel alone, but empowered us in a world of love, magic, and adventures. Come with me as we explore the wizarding world with William Phoenix.
All right, guys, welcome back to our new, not so new segment, the movie bucket list, where William surprises Lewis and myself every week with a movie of these posters that he has, and we debate if it should be on this list or not. So, William, what is the movie this week?
Brendan, don't hate me.
Do you know this one?
I'm pretty sure that we all know this one, but it's the fact that we were literally just talking about it.
Okay.
So, speaking of movie news, we're going to go back to the roots of one of the movies we just talked about, because the movie I picked out for this week is Alien.
The original?
The original.
Okay. Yeah, Alien. Oh, man. What?
That is just stupendous, dude. I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, the movie's really good.
This, for me, is in my top, I think, 15 movies of all time. Yeah, 15.
Lewis, at least once in every episode, has to bring up his list in some fashion.
Nobody cares, Lewis.
Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, Alien is incredible. It's awesome also to see a movie back then, which I know it was a thing, but like to have like a strong female lead like Ripley, who
Sigourney Weaver especially.
Yeah, played by Sigourney Weaver, who is incredible in this movie. Like everything about it it's a horror movie, but like it's different because it's in space, so you feel very claustrophobic. You feel trapped with the crew of the Nostradamus, right? Is that the Nostradamus?
Yep.
And there's just this sense of dread, like specifically, like, you know, when they go to the planet where they're getting the distress signal from, and the face hugger like attaches itself to one of the crew members, and then, you know, the famous scene when they're like, you know, having whatever a meal together, and then the fucking chest popper comes out, which is amazing for being, what was it, 1978 or 79? 79. Yeah. Dude, the effects, like when the chest, when he pops out of the chest, and also when what's this guy's name, the one that plays Bilbo,
Ian Holmes,
like when he gets cut or whatever, like when he breaks apart,
the white thing,
and then the milk starts popping out, which is like his blood or whatever. It's just very well done. Like the practical effects hold up even till today, and like honestly, the alien, the xenomorph, looks awesome.
Dude, it looks awesome. Yes,
there's something just so terrifying about like the Geiger designs of the alien and stuff like that. It's so sleek, but it just looks utterly terrifying.
So, funny thing about this, the reason that Ridley Scott was able to get the Giger designs and stuff like that for Alien was because it was actually from the Jodorowsky Dune movie that was being worked on as well. And initially Jodorowsky was going to be doing his type of landscaping and drawing and all that stuff. So because of that, Ridley Scott had seen some of the material that Jodorowsky was doing for Dune, and he's like, oh my god, I want that person for my next movie. So he grabbed him and used him for the movie. So if it wasn't for the failed attempt of Dune, we wouldn't have those intricate designs the way that Giger put it out.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier in the movie news, in my opinion, honestly, Alien and Aliens, the sequel, which honestly they're two very completely different movies. One is a horror film and one is an action movie. Those are the only two good ones. Maybe if who was it that was directing 3? Was it Fincher?
Yeah, David Fincher did 3.
Yeah, that
You didn't like 3?
What?
I like 3.
3's okay, but I've heard that like they fucked with his script a lot.
They did,
and it was really different at one point. And maybe if like we got the original version of David Fincher's script, the movie would be like good, but it's okay. And then after that, you know, Resurrection is hot garbo. I'm sorry to tell you.
Shut your face.
Prometheus, I'll watch it, but it's not a good movie. And Covenant was just, it's okay. I'm like, eh. Honestly, the only two good ones are Alien and Aliens, and yeah, like
I think that Alien and Aliens go together, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I think that both of them are grouped together in my honest opinion. And I think that they definitely, both of those deserve to be on this top 100.
Ripley! Sorry, I gotta sound like Newt for a second.
You gotta sound like who?
Newt from the second movie?
The little girl.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, Ripley!
Oh. Yeah, no, I get that now.
Get away from her, you bitch.
So for any of you that...
No, you said Newt, I thought Commander, and I'm like, that's got nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, what?
I'm like, what the hell is that sound, and what the hell? Like, did he find his pee-pee? Is he happy? Like, what the hell? Okay, no. It makes sense now in context.
Sorry. That was
no, it's fine.
For any of you that haven't seen this movie, I don't know where the hell you've been living all your life, but whatever. Moving on. This is a story about these merchants that they're scavengers, and they go around the galaxy. Huh?
Sorry. You were like, this is the story of, and I was like, this is the story of a girl.
The story of a girl.
Yeah, it is. Actually,
Greta River drowned the whole world. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's what is the crew of the Nostradamus doing? They're
scavengers.
Scavengers, okay.
Yes. So they go around and basically they scavenge space garbage and try to put it together and take it back and freight it back to the home world.
They do it for the Wayland Wayland Yutani corporation. And and then they basically go to a planet with a distress signal, and there's no one alive on the planet, and they, like I said,
something gets attached.
Something gets attached to one of the crew members, and then all hell breaks loose from there.
But it's
attachment issue.
Yeah,
it's honestly like incredible what they do with the spaceships. They degrade the spaceships to the point where it actually looks like a freight, like a freight boat, a freight ship.
Yeah.
Basically, they make it look like a ship, a proper ship in the ocean, in space. And even things falling apart, things are being maintained all the time. There's an actual schedule thing. It's a lot of cool stuff integrated into this film. And then on top of that, the terror that actually plays out in this film, that it makes you white knuckle throughout the whole film. It's fucking incredible. Ridley Scott was Ridley Scott in his prime. This was him when he was still doing amazing movies like Legend, like Blade Runner, like Alien. These were all like his best films of all time. Yeah. There's nothing that compares to these three.
And if you're a fan of Alien, or if you've watched Alien recently and you just got into it and you're a video game player, whatever, there's a great game called Alien Isolation that came out like 4 or 5 years ago, where you play as Ripley's daughter, but it's cool because everything in the game looks exactly like, all the technology looks like they literally got it from the Ridley films and they just put it into this video game.
You know what was actually
cool? When you started talking video games, I thought you were talking like Alien versus the Marines or whatever that game was.
No.
And I'm like, I know it's not about that game.
This is a horror game called Alien Isolation, where you're on a space station and the alien is in the space station and you're trying to, get off the station or kill it, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of tension and stuff. So it's really, and you can't fight the alien, so that causes tension. But yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's actually an old patch for Doom, the DOOM, that was alien themed. So it had all the music, it had all it patched over all the different characters. It was fucking great, dude. That game was so fun to play.
Doom is incredible. Doom is phenomenal. But yeah.
But it's the original Doom, like the old
the one for DOS or whatever.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah. So Alien, I would say, hell yeah, it deserves to be on this list. I think it's a breakthrough in science fiction, not only science fiction but in horror. And I think it should be probably top 20s, like in the list, if we put it like anywhere in the hundreds, in the 20s. Or
agreed.
Not 20, sorry, like teens. Like somewhere in the teens, like probably like 15, 16, something like that. I would put it like that low. Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal film, and if you like science fiction or horror, or you like both, and you haven't seen this movie, you're definitely doing yourself a disservice, and you should definitely go check it out.
Yes, indeed.
I was like, anybody? All right, guys. Stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you live with our main segment of the show, the main review, which is Still Waiting. This is going to be a doozy.
Hey, you lovely nerds. This is Nisha M., your geek mom, from Diversely Geek. Diversely Geek is a global nonprofit that promotes self-acceptance by highlighting the positive message of fandom. We're all fans of something that has affected us for the better. We like to express that love by embracing our inner geeks with you all on our podcast, Diversely Geek Discusses. We also have a podcast for any Whovians out there called Doctor Who in Review. We often partner with Manbitesmedia, so you're bound to come across us sooner or later. You can find us all on our podcast platforms as Diversely Geek Discusses and on social media platforms as Diversely Geek. You can also subscribe on our website, diverselygeek.org, where you can find our podcasts, videos, original content, articles, and so much more. And remember, there's some good in this world, Mr. Aslan.
Alright guys, welcome back for our main segment, the main review, Stillwaiting. This is William's pick. It's a comedy movie. I didn't watch did you watch the original, Lewis?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay,
so you saw both.
I'm so glad I did.
I didn't watch the original. I only saw this one. And it's I think it's a mediocre comedy.
Mediocre. Yes.
I think it's really pushy with its jokes half the time. And
I would say it's middling, and it's kind of like it tries to go places, but it really doesn't go there. And it feels like a PG made for TV movie. That's what it felt like.
Like, for instance,
well, it was definitely not PC. That's for damn sure.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't PC, but it wasn't the first one.
No, okay. Look, this is what I'm gonna say about it. I'm one for, sexually like charged jokes and all that stuff. That's fine with me. But this one's like every 10 seconds there's some,
and it wasn't done well.
Yeah, and it's not done well. It's like every 10 seconds they're trying to do this really perverted joke, and it's like, holy shit, that's really bad. Like not the performance, like the delivery of the joke is just fucking horrible. So I just didn't enjoy it whatsoever. I did like Tata's, Hooters, basically.
Yeah.
So stupid.
I liked his character, the guy's character, the manager. He was fucking
manager?
hilarious. The one with the pissing disorder.
Oh. He has like a fucking mental breakdown at the end when the guy looks at him again.
But you have to watch the first one to understand that. And again, William, we should have watched the first one. You should have made us watch the first one, because the first one was like eons better. This is like the fucking quirks
here's the thing.
Fast food or restaurants.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The reason why I had you guys watch the second one over the first one is because the first one we all would have agreed. We all would have liked it. We all would have been like, it's a great movie. We can all associate with it. And it would have been one of those like, great. There's another movie that we all agree with. With this one, we differ in our opinions, which I think makes it a little bit more interesting than just going, oh yeah, I picked an easy movie that we all can agree on. But it's still a movie that's not like horrible. It's not like Cannibal Holocaust.
No.
But it's still a movie that we can talk about and we can still associate to some degree as to, oh yeah, I've been there. I know this. You know what I mean? I didn't want like the cop-out pick. I just wanted one that I knew was still along the lines of Waiting, but not as good as Waiting. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. I get it. And honestly, like, I watched the first one and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking great.
The first one's great. The first one's got Ryan Reynolds in it. You got like, you got really good.
I thought I had never seen it. The first one, Waiting ... was, I would probably give that a 9 out of 10. That's how good it was for me.
Goddamn.
Okay, this one I would maybe stretch it to a 5, maybe.
Oh,
I'd give Stillwaiting like a 5 or 6. Like, it's. There were some times where
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for the. There were some jokes that like right now off the top of my head I really can't, think of. But like there were some times where I was like, that's funny, like I chuckled. But most of the time I'm like, wow, this is really really fucking pushy. Like, dude, if I was that guy with the lisp or whatever, I would have fucking slapped that other cook in the face, dude. Like straight up.
Yeah.
Why you guys always make fun of me? Damn it!
Dude, when he's like, what is it, the enchilada thing, and they put like the sour cream on his lips?
That was funny the first time. That's it. After that, it just kind of like, all right, we got it.
But he gets the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome.
I know it's not the message it's supposed to portray, but I like that he gets the girl because it shows, and this is maybe just my interpretation, which I know I read into stuff too much. It shows that even with a disability, it doesn't mean that somebody you like is out of your league. Yeah. You know, like the entire time he was like, she's out of my league, she's not going to like me, and this and this. I got a disability, and people were making fun of him for it, and everything else. But in the end, you're right. He gets the girl. I'm, not even trying. He gets the girl. Just, she had the whole fetish for accents, which I don't know if a lisp can really be considered an accent.
Yeah, I can.
I liked it that he got the girl.
I do too.
That was one of the good parts of the movie for me, anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we talk about what was the point of Andy Milonakis' character? The kid.
Oh, so in the first one, him and the track boy.
You
don't know who Andy Milonakis is? Are you kidding me? For real?
No,
I don't think I know the name.
He had a show on MTV. He has a disorder, like a disease where he doesn't age properly, so he looks like a kid. The fat kid with the whatever the corn the one that wanted to be a rapper.
Oh yeah.
That's Andy Milonakis. He had a show on MTV, and he has like this disease where he doesn't age properly. He's gonna look like a child perpetually for the rest of his life. Kind of like what this guy did. This guy had what was his name? Oh my god, from the 70s. He was the black guy on that TV show in the 70s. He looked like a little kid, but he was like an adult.
Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman. Thank you. Like that. It's kind of like that. But yeah, like the entire time, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this character? Like,
okay, so one of the best parts of the movie for me, which I literally repeatedly laugh, was the little cameo that Adam Carolla came out in, which I just lost my shit.
That shit was so stupid to me. Like,
that was the most anti-PC part of a movie that I have ever seen. Because even back then, like a lot of times nowadays, we're like, oh, that would have never flown back then, or that would have never flown now. But back then everything was copacetic.
Yeah.
Back then it was still like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know, like, there's a lot of things, like, again, Andy Milonakis' character, Agnew, that he's just racist up the ass, with a name...
Well, Agnew was basically your discount Ryan Reynolds. That's basically the role that he took over.
And then...
Luis Guzman, that's the other thing. They fucking neutered his character in this movie, and I was like, come on!
Ooh.
Like, in the previous movie, in the first movie, he invents this game where they have to show their penises in, like, weird ways. And if they do, they get to kick you in your ass. But, oh my god, it was fucking hilarious. That's why he invented the whole vagina thing. But...
Nobody's gonna play a stupid vagina game.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just that, like, also,
so wasted.
Dude, the end of the movie... So, did you guys wait till after the credits?
No.
All I know is during the credits, there's like a whole like
the music video
no,
thing.
So after the credits, there's a scene where the guy that quit, the one that had the dream that he was going to be naked in front of the people in the restaurant. He comes back in and he's like, well, fuck all of you. And then he like looks at Agnew. He's like, you're a racist piece of shit. And then like he takes out a fucking gun, shoots like 3 people dead. 2 topless girls come at him, they hug him, and then he wakes up in his bed, he's having a dream, he smiles to himself, and the man has a boner. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, dude?
Wow.
What is this shit?
Not fly nowadays at all.
Dude, like, I was like, what? It was just, oh man. It was really bad.
This is why this movie went to straight to video.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, I I watched it and I wasn't like looking at my clock like, oh my god, you know. But
yeah, I wasn't either.
But it's just like there are much better raunchy comedies than Still Waiting. I'll take your word for it that Waiting, the original one, is much better than this one.
I'm telling you, like, fucking way better. It's comparable to Clerks. Good. Like that's how good, and that's coming from me, which means a lot. Like, because I love Clerks. So
how about the character, the chick that's like an alcoholic, did she exist in the first movie?
Yeah, she did.
Played by the same lady or no?
Yep.
Jesus. Bro, and like when they wake up, like I love when she like gets on top of him. What is it? She's like, shit on my face. She says something horrendous to him, to the assistant, the manager. She's like, shit on my face or shit on my pussy, and I'm like, whoa. And then he proceeds to wake up with a glove on. God knows what they did. Yeah, honestly, go watch better raunchy comedies like American Pie or some shit. That's much better, you know.
Oh, get out of here,
bro. You don't like American Pie?
I like American Pie, but this is the first one was way better.
Okay, I haven't seen the first one. I'm comparing it to Still Waiting, dumb fuck.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm like, come on.
Fun.
Like American Pie, I don't know. Maybe in my opinion, American Pie is better than Waiting. I don't know.
Did you guys ever see American Reunion?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I think I have. No.
I liked it.
No, I have not. I don't think I've seen that one.
I think like my three favorites out of that series, not to like go off topic, but I think it goes like not in like this order, but my three favorites out of an entire American Pie series is the original American Pie, American Pie Wedding, and American Pie Reunion.
American Pie is great, dude. Fuck. How many guys stuck their dick in a pie?
Because of that
movie. I mean, I never did.
But, I never did either, but like...
I didn't either, but I don't like
allegedly.
Pie.
Yeah, I like pie. Pie's great.
I don't like pie. William, what do you get?
Pie? I know Brendan heard that one. For what it is by standalone, I would probably give it like a 7. Compared to the first one, probably like a 5 or a 6. But since we are reviewing it as its own movie, probably like a 7.
Oh, and there's something you got to know about me. When you assign a movie like this, like if it's a sequel or something like that, I can't do it. I can't just watch the fucking second movie. I have to force myself to watch
Perfect. It. My next choice is going to be I'm going to pick episode 22, season 12 of Supernatural. Have fun with that.
Get out of here. All right. So,
all right.
Anyways, moving on.
Oh, are we done? Are we done with the main review?
Yes, we are.
All right. Stay tuned after this quick little break when we come at you with the last segment of our show, the individual reviews.
No longer live.
Nope, not anymore.
Okay.
As the songs of awakening rang through, the world was created. The silence was broken.
Middle-earth, with its rolling hills, broken mountains, flowing rivers, and beautiful forest, was created.
Cellar Door is a journey into the mythology, the mystery, and the beauty of Middle-earth. Sit back.
Close your eyes.
And imagine.
All right, guys, welcome back for the final segment of our show, the individual reviews. I'm going to be going first again, because I think I went first last week. Because you guys...
Wow.
So I'm going to be reviewing something a little different this episode. I'm reviewing a documentary, which I had heard about, but I hadn't watched, and I finally got around to it, and that is a documentary by the name of Raising Kratos. The story of basically Santa Monica.
God damn it!
What?
I watched that. I was like, I'll make that my review next week.
Ah! Kratos,
Kratos,
yeah.
like the God of War from like the God of War.
Yeah.
Like
Calliope!
my,
Sorry.
Like my little snake.
So basically this documentary
Kratos
follows the
how do you spell
5-year development cycle of the first-party Sony studio called Santa Monica Studios, basically making God of War, which came out, last year for PS4. And it's really interesting because for anyone that does not know, or you have played the God of War series before this one, it was kind of like just very cookie cutter, like, Kratos doesn't really have much to him. He's just killing everybody in his sight, all the gods. And they wanted to go a different route with this game. And it's really also another interesting thing about the documentary is coming from somebody like an outsider to the industry, it's really cool to see the whole development cycle and how much difficulty and time goes into making a game, millions and millions upon millions of dollar game, basically. To give you an example, at one point in the documentary they say that when they first showed off the game to the public, which was in 2016, they had a 30-minute demo, and that's all they had. That's all they had working for the game at that moment. And in 2 years from 2016 to 2018, when the game released, they basically went from having a 30-minute demo, essentially, to a 30-hour game, which is incredible. I don't know how the fuck they do it, but it's cool seeing that, but it's also sad because you see these developers and people at work in the studio, most notably Cory Barlog, and he has a wife and a son, but the work gets in the way of his life with them and other people also in the studio. And also
but
go ahead. No. It follows the developers, they talk about it's over the course of 5 years. So you see them move from one studio to another studio because they need a bigger working space, and then it follows them it shows them when they go to
So
the
does
event
it follow
where
the
they're gonna
developers and stuff like that, or
God
is
of
it
War to the
story of
public
meeting?
for the first time? And it's really interesting because I didn't know this. People from Santa Monica Studios were in the crowd, sitting next to people that didn't know that they were about to announce this game, and they couldn't say anything. And it's really interesting because they interview them, and then they're like, I wish that I could have looked to my right, tapped this stranger and been like, they're about to announce God of War. I know this before the public knows this. And it's just they interview the actors that do the mocap for the characters, which Kratos is played by this guy from Stargate SG-1, the black guy. Yeah. He does the mocap and of course the lines for Kratos, the main character of the game. This is the first game where he does Kratos because I think it was voiced by a different guy originally. And at one point so the game has to deals very heavily between
awesome.
Kratos basically gaining a relationship with his son, because the plot of the game is basically his wife has died and he has a really shitty relationship with his son.
Nice.
And her dying wishes were basically for them to cremate her and to spread her ashes from the tallest mountain in all the realms, because this is Norse mythology. And the entire game is him and his son going to this mountain, and over the way they kind of start gaining a relationship, and he starts understanding his son and all that stuff. And it really hit home because at one point in the documentary, the guy who plays Kratos, he was like, I didn't have a relationship with my kids because I was filming a show that over the course of 10 years. And he goes, this is my apology to them, this game. And he starts crying and everything, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And I'm like, damn, dude. This is really, hardcore. Honestly, if you're a fan of God of War and you want to know more, watch it. If you're a fan of, or if you're interested in like learning about game development and like what goes into that, honestly, it's a great documentary. It's for free. It's on YouTube, on the PlayStation YouTube channel. It is a bit long. It's an hour and 54 minutes, but I personally wasn't bored at any point. But maybe for somebody else, they would be. I would rate this like an 8 or 9. I think it's a really great documentary, and it really shows you things that, like, as a consumer, you don't really think about or you don't see that often because, you know, you're a consumer, you're not in the industry. So it's really cool to have like an inside look into the making of a AAA video game and like what goes into that. So definitely AAA, yeah, that's what they call them. That's like basically a AAA video game is a video game that has a budget of millions of dollars. That's a AAA video game.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, also keep in mind as you watch this that this is not the
video game?
first installment. If you've never played the game, this is not the first installment of this game.
Honestly,
this is the 5th, and it's basically almost like a reboot because the original God of War is Greek. It was all like Greek mythology.
It's a soft reboot, and yes, I would. Honestly, if you're gonna watch this and you've never played the game, be warned that there might be spoilers of the story in the game in the documentary because they assume that you've played the game. If you can't play the game because you don't own a PS4 or whatever, watch a playthrough on YouTube. It's a phenomenal game. It's my favorite. Coming from somebody that didn't really like God of War before or was like okay with it, I was like indifferent about it.
We're gonna feud over that later.
This game, the God of War 2018 one for PS4 is an incredible game, and if you like Norse mythology or any of that, like definitely go play it. But yeah, it's a really good documentary. Just be forewarned that you might get a little spoiled. But yeah, it's on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. It's awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, and I very much concur with you on that because I had played all the God of War games, literally both the console and the handheld games before, and they were all based on the Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. And then when they announced that they were getting away from it, and at first I was like, but Kratos is Greek. Like, how are you getting away from the basis of Greek mythology? Which I can understand also why, because, I mean, they pretty much covered as much. They were running out of gods, quite honestly. He killed all of them by the time the third one came around, and like, there's nobody left. But when they went,
I love that line.
But then, I did absolutely love the fact that they kept it with mythology, first of all, and that they went Greek mythology, and that they went Norse mythology, because that's another favorite of mine. And they did an excellent job covering it, and I really hope that they do come out with a nice sequel to it, because they do leave it wide open for a sequel. I'm not going to give out any more spoilers about it. That's all I will say as far as that is concerned. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could not put the game down. So it was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth the wait because they kept pushing back. That was another thing. They kept pushing back the date. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can we please just have this damn game? Yeah. Which we know by video game lore, the more you push back a game, usually speaking, it means that there's some major issues going on.
Yeah.
But this was not the case. This was actually done so that it could be done correctly, and it did. And like you said, if you haven't seen the documentary, see it. If you have not played the game, go out, buy a PlayStation. If you ever wanted a reason to buy a PlayStation, God of War is that reason.
God of War and
I am not getting paid for this endorsement.
God of War and The Last of Us. I definitely would recommend both those games if you want to play PlayStation exclusive.
I will take your word for it. I've never played Last of Us.
Oh my god!
I know,
William.
I know.
Please.
Okay, so my saving grace to it is that I plan on playing it before the second one comes out.
Oh, okay. It's cheap. They remastered it for PS4, and it's probably like max $30. Like, it's cheap.
Yeah, I know, which I can play for like half the price that it first came out.
Yeah, so...
And it's remastered, so...
Oh, fuck you, man.
Ooh.
Fuck you. He has nothing to add to this, so he's like, fuck this, bro.
Exactly.
When honestly, he could rant about something, and I don't have anything to add, and I'll let him rant and rant and rant. Go on, William.
So, William, what is your movie?
I'm throwing some shade this episode.
Well, with as bright as it was today, a little shade is always welcomed.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to be a little unorthodox in this one and actually give you my rating first and then go into detail about it.
Interesting.
Because granted, it's only 5 episodes, but I was lucky enough that I picked it up right as 4 episodes had already come out. So I only had to wait like literally 24 hours to watch the series finale of the show. And having lived in Europe at the time that this happened, it definitely gave you a different perspective of what was going on behind the scenes at the time, but also seeing how accurate it was, knowing the details of the story. And what I'm talking about is the HBO miniseries Chernobyl.
Oh, I've heard very good things about the show.
It is excellent. It is 99% accurate. And the reason why I say 99% accurate is because the only thing that they not get away from, but the only change that they do is that during the Chernobyl crisis, the USSR sent it was, I forgot what the exact title was, but basically they sent 2 people from the States along with a ton of scientists to try and solve what they were trying to deny was a nuclear crisis at the time. And because there were so many scientists that went during the crisis, they couldn't exactly have represent every single one of them. So they take all of them and make a character up for them, which is a lady, which represents like the physics, the aspects of it, and almost like she's the conscience of what is going on, because as much as they realize what is going on firsthand, they're still like afraid of the state, because if you went against what the state said, it would you like they say in the show, get a bullet, which basically means the KGB would take care of your silence. But it is incredible. It is incredibly done. It is incredibly written. Excuse me. You get the different perspectives of what happened at Chernobyl. You get them from both the people, again, that worked for the government, which are, literally till the end, denied that the USSR had any kind of imperfection, let alone a nuclear catastrophe, to the people that lived through it, and the people that died because of it, and not just the night that it happened, but because of cancer, because the firemen that did not know, that they just were told, oh, you're putting out a fire. They didn't realize they were literally walking into a nuclear playground, to put it nicely, and went in, basically signed their death warrant to go do their job. And the state denied, that, they tried to make excuses for it. You see all these different perspectives, and like right off the bat, you're just sitting there going, how can they deny something so obvious? How can they sit there and, like, they tried to say that the, what should I call it? I'm getting ahead of myself now, and I'm talking faster than I can think.
Well, you're talking about the USSR that had complete control over their population. They're as bad. it's communist country. It's a communist country, meaning that they have complete control over the press. They have complete control over their people. So if they want to sell a point, then they could sell it without any real need to do anything, because honestly, nobody will know better. The only people that will know better are the people that live right around there that know, obviously, that's some bullshit. So
actually, not even they knew anything about that. They were just told that they were being temporarily displaced for their safety, and that they were going to be able to get back to their homes. 30 plus years later, they are still waiting to get back to it, and they won't, because
it has a half-life of 50 years.
The half-life was 24,000 years.
Jesus.
So even though the radiation in Chernobyl has, because now they do tours, like you can't live there, but it's gone down enough to where they literally, if you go there for like a day or two for a certain amount of hours, you'll be completely fine. It's gone down. Like even the elephant's foot that's in the basement of Chernobyl is still. I mean, obviously you don't want to sit next to it. They say that if you spend more than 30 minutes next to it, you will die within 24 hours from radiation poisoning. But one thing is that, like, everybody that was there, everybody that ended up being part of this, to some degree, got taken care of by the state, meaning that, like, when they ended up in the hospital on their deathbed and everything else, they didn't have to pay for medication. They didn't have to pay for, like the hospital bills and everything else.
Well, yeah, because it's a communist country.
Yeah, which I'm only bringing this up because, ironically, right as I finished watching the episode, somebody posted something about how the firefighters from 9/11 are now being denied health care because they have cancer, and they're calling it a pre-existing condition, which I'm like, wow, okay. No, I'm not pushing communism. No, I'm not saying communism is great. But say what you will about the Russians, they took care of their own when it came down to it.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, this whole show, this whole miniseries, 5 hours long, it's nothing compared to, like, some of the shows that we're used to watching nowadays.
Yeah.
It's great. It's got, like, the cast is, like, hold on, I had it ready and I closed it by accident. The cast is great as well, because you have Stellan Skarsgård.
Ooh.
Skarsgård.
Exactly, right off the bat. You have Jared Harris. He usually plays the asshole or like the bad guy in movies, but in this one he plays the main physicist, which he does an excellent job. Emily Watson is the third party in this, and then Paul Ritter is in there as well. So it's graphic. I will let you know right now, this is not for the faint of heart. It's extremely graphic because as the show goes on, you see, I won't give it away too much, but there are scenes that they go visit some of the scientists that were in Chernobyl, like in the actual power plant when it all went down, as well as some of the firefighters that were there, and they do not hold back.
Yeah, those poor people.
They don't. That's putting it lightly. Yeah. And it covers everything up to and including the trials, because the top two people in charge of Chernobyl and the guy that was there during the test, because this whole explosion happened because they were running a test, but everything that led up to it is what caused for Chernobyl to happen. But they're put on trial, and he covers the trial as well, and then obviously there's like a little bit of like afterword about it, or I don't know what exact word is. If you have any, and the reason why I decided to watch is because, like I said, in 1986 I was living in Germany at the time. I was in Munich, and the the nuclear cloud that came out of Chernobyl reached Germany in 1986. It was right. I mean, I don't remember it vividly because I was sick, but it stays with you because you remember your parents talking, you remember the adults talking about it, and going to supermarkets. And it was the first time they would go to supermarkets, and the shelves were bare. You know, kind of like when there's the snow scares here, or the tornado warnings, the hurricane warnings. People are like I don't scare. Like, you know, I don't go running. I'm not shocked that, you know, all these things are empty. Why? Because as young as 6 years old, I lived through it. I was there, and not knowing if what you're about to breathe in will potentially kill you within weeks, days, or months, or years, it's a scary thought, especially as you get older and you realize it. But, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of, like, 1 hour documentaries depicting details and whatnot, which I will give them all the credit in the world. But the absolute detail that this miniseries gives is incredible. Well done. HBO did a fabulous job. And every episode at the end has like a 2 or 3 minute behind the scene, kind of like not a workshop, but like the actors and the director, which put in all the work and all the time and everything to go along with it, talk about, well, you know, what was depicted in that episode, and, you know, why they decided to cover about it. And it's one of those, you know, Game of Thrones is done. Why should I keep my subscription for a little bit longer, you know, other than Westworld? This is one of the reasons why you should keep that subscription. Watch it. Tell me, you know, literally, if you've lived through it, talk to me about it. I'd love to hear everybody's opinions on it. But
yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it.
It is definitely not one of those shows to be taken. I don't mean lightly, as in the sense of make fun of it, but know that it's going to be graphic, and it'll probably stay with you. It's not just one of those, oh, I watched it and it's okay, and, you know, like, the makeup was great. The makeup is so realistic that you literally think that these actors are dying of radiation poisoning. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So watch it. Let me know. I give it a 10 out of 10. I could give it more if I could, but yeah, I'm done. I could just do an entire show about it. But thank you for letting me talk about it and, you know, get it off my chest. Okay. But yeah,
awesome.
Louis,
awesome,
what do you have?
So
you gotta follow that.
I have something a little bit more lighthearted.
God, I hope so.
Well, not that much, but I mean, the movie that I'm bringing up this week is it's honestly, it's not a fantastic movie. It's a really good movie in my opinion, but it has its problems obviously and all that stuff. And it stars an amazing cast with Vincent D'Onofrio and Vince Vaughn. And there's a couple other ones in here as well.
You're missing the main actress.
Well, she's not an actress, first of all, but
she's not,
sure.
But you know,
Jennifer Lopez is the one that Brandon is alluding to, and this is directed and written by a pretty awesome team, honestly. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm talking about The Cell. The Cell is actually currently streaming on Netflix. This is a 2000 film that goes into the psyche of a serial killer. So,
are you sure it's not perfect?
Oh my God!
Thank you, Brendan. Brendan got it. Thank you very much.
I got it. It's just not funny.
Whatever.
Anyway, so this FBI agent and social workers are trying to figure out the mind of the serial killer, but the only way that they're able to get into him, because he's in a coma, is get into his subconscious. So this is like, imagine
Inception before Inception.
Yeah, it's pretty much. And it follows this whole experimental thing where they put Jennifer Lopez's character, which is named Catherine Dean, into the mind of this serial killer. So she is within the imagination and mind of this serial killer. And this makes for some of the trippiest shit I have ever seen on film. It's like, imagine this weird psychedelic David Lynchian world.
It's anybody that's into BDSM's like wet dream, basically, from what I've seen of the film.
Not really, because I'm into BDSM.
Like imagery, like it has a very like masochistic kind of imagery to it. But yeah,
it's very dream state and very nightmarish. One of the first images that she sees is this horse in the middle of this room, and this little boy, she's following this little boy, which is obviously the serial killer's alter ego, original child, where the trauma actually occurred and that caused him to be a serial killer. And he runs underneath this giant horse in this room, and Jennifer Lopez is like, comes into the room and looks around a little bit, and the boy's like frantic, like, no, don't, and he runs towards her and like pushes her away from that area, and suddenly these glass plates come down and slice the horse into like 7 pieces and split the horse up, so you could see like the intestines and everything split in the middle of each piece. It is bizarre and interesting. And then there's other scenes involved, like the whole room is a giant cape, which is this fucking epic sequence as well.
That was great. That was beautiful. I remember that scene. That was great.
And he's like, the cape is clamped down to his nipple rings that he has on. And oh dude, it is fucking cool looking shit. This is honestly, it's a visual masterpiece. This is up there with the visual effects that we saw in When Dreams May Come, just a little bit more nightmarish. But yes, it's very much that style. It shocks you with this visual aspect, and that's what captures you in this film. And the whole psyche behind going into the mind of a serial killer, what would you see? Obviously, we've been spoiled with the movie Inception now, that kind of really delves this, and it's done by a master filmmaker that elevates this same story to a standard that nobody could hold up to now. But this film did it first, and it did it with style. And the way that they do it is not bad. It's just obviously now with these films like Inception, it's kind of thrown to the wayside because it's like, oh, I've seen better, you know?
Yeah.
So, but this is extremely stylized version of Inception.
Interesting.
With interesting characters, and honestly, Jennifer Lopez does a good job with this role.
Just very much towards the beginning of her career.
Yeah, but Vincent D'Onofrio is
movie career.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is the takeaway star from this.
We all know that Jennifer Lopez's best role is fucking Anaconda, okay? All right?
Yeah.
All right, fuck you, because we all know it's Chili, okay?
I knew you were...
No. Jersey Girl.
Oh, okay.
Jersey Girl wasn't bad.
Oh God.
Compared to the 2 movies we just mentioned,
hey, I actually enjoyed
Jersey Girl is a fucking masterpiece.
Anyways, Vincent D'Onofrio is definitely like the best part of this movie. He takes away the role of the serial killer and takes it to like a whole other level that creeps you the fuck out. I mean, this is Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you thought he was creeping Full Metal Jacket, This is the movie where he's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
Like, there's some sick sadistic shit that he does in the film that you're like, whoa. Okay. That's it.
I don't know about sick sadistic, but I mean, you know.
Oh, there's some sick sadistic shit.
No, I know.
All right.
But honestly, one of the coolest scenes is Jennifer Lopez with that face piece. Do you remember that?
Let me look.
Dude, that is I don't know why that is really attractive, the way that she does that shit. and pulls it off.
Fucking Lopez.
Oh, that weird like face mask thing.
It's like the thing dangling down and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking up pictures of it right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, I love it. I think it's fucking looks awesome, and it goes with everything in this film. If you're into costume design and all that stuff, this is something that you will enjoy watching because the fucking costumes in this are surreal. Like they're amazing. So yeah, if you want to watch this on Netflix, and the sequel is actually on Amazon Prime, I do not recommend the sequel.
Yeah, it's a direct to DVD sequel.
Yeah, I do not recommend it. I watched about 20 minutes into it, and I'm like, I'm done. This is crap. Like, I couldn't finish it. That's how bad it was. Funny. So this one I give a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
William, what would you give it? Because you've seen it.
I mean, I have seen it, and especially at the time that it came out, and I'll probably give it a good 8 or 10. Like graphic wise, storyline. Like at the time, going into somebody's brain was that unheard of, really. And the way that it was done, and I mean, yes, the cape is CGI'd, but it's still beautifully CGI'd, especially for.
Yeah.
You all right there, bro? Don't cough up the storm.
Excuse me.
Fucking dying over here. Jesus.
Especially for the time that it came out of. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when we were watching Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter movies, which special effects.
Anyways.
All right.
Lewis,
so
what are you?
Movie for next week.
God.
All right. I'm giving you 2 options, guys. Do you want to watch the amazing Bolorama movie that is this fucking quaint, amazing comedy horror film? Or do you want to watch a David Cronenberg horror film of my choosing? Now,
what are the movies?
I am not going to say. It's either
that's not
a comedy horror or a Cronenberg horror
I love
film.
how we have to give the exact movie, but when he picks it, he's super like fucking cryptic about it, man.
So, what is your choice? Choose wisely.
I'm gonna go with the comedy.
Comedy?
Sure,
Brandon?
Go with the comedy, fine.
Okay, so curveball being thrown right now. You are also going to be witnessing Joe Bob Briggs for the first time. You are going to be watching on Shudder The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs presenting sorority babes in the slime bowl-o-rama.
What?
What the fuck are we watching?
What was the horror film?
Sorority babes in the slime bowl-o-rama.
Oh, so it's 2 in the same. Okay.
Presented by Joe Bob Briggs and his amazingness that is.
Who the hell is Joe Bob Briggs? You keep saying his name like I'm not supposed to know like who the hell he is.
Oh my god, he is the master of horror, dude. He is like
No, that's Wes Craven.
No. Anyways, no. He's basically like an Elvira character. He used to present horror films back in the 80s and 90s. He was Monster Vision, Last Drive-In. He was responsible for my childhood horror films.
So he stole this persona for somebody else that had a better career and made it his own?
Actually, Elvira stole it from him because he's been around longer than her.
Actually, Elvira stole it from Vampirella, but we're not going to get into that discussion.
Yes.
If you guys like this show, check out our other stuff. Please go to manbitesfilm.com.
Oh my god.
Also check out diverselygeek.org.
Oh my god, that was fucking gold. Fucking gold.
Go on YouTube and check out John over at Narcotic Casserole. And of course, if you're into conventions, check out our friends, Con Friends, the podcast. Thank you.
I love you,
Thank you. I love you too. Thanks, William.
Please make the show. I can't stop.
This guy's dying. Thanks, Lewis. I just want to go.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks, William. You could just keep laughing over there.
You're welcome.
As always, I'm Brandon, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Manbitesfilm.
Welcome to an exploration of sight and mind, a travel through the world of films and the artists that bring you these masterpieces. Do you love films, directors, actors, cinematographers, editors, composers, or any of the hundreds of artists that bring you these feats of art? I am Luislacau, your host into the world of films, your guide to Man Bites Retro.